But now 10 questions. I don't know which you can and can't answer, but these are the 10 most likely questions that people want to know right now. Who's the race for?
Well, it's actually for me. I've been passionate about gravel biking for a very long time, and not quite as long as some here, but it was a decade. And it's the kind of the amalgamation of everything. It's a unifier gravel, and I think it should be for everyone, because it does unify mountain biking, road biking. It unifies new cyclists, old cyclists, and cyclists who were previously intimidated by a stage race don't have to sport because it's a really accessible sport. Yeah, so
pros, amateurs, and weekend warriors.
I think that's exactly it. If you're a pro, it's as hard as you want it to be. You can race full gas. You might be finished in 3 hours or 4 hours, and it's going to be hard. And it's also going to be hard covering 170 Ks for our Queen stage, for example, just to get through it. So there's a new challenge for everyone, and it's exactly that. It's for everyone.
Solo or team event, and why?
So it's a solo race, and there's a few reasons for that. We can go into great detail, but it's one of those. It's a slight departure away from what people are used to in terms of mountain bike stage racing. Two-person team format is a very successful one, and it's very exciting, and there's a great dynamic. But we thought that solo was so great because riders could then enter easily, also riding with a partner or being connected with a partner, you're obliged by the laws of the race to stay together. It can be quite dangerous, especially with the big bunches we've seen in gravel racing. So the last thing you want to do is have a rule where people have to stay together, and that encourages people to look around, turn around of the bunch. So there's a bit of a safety factor there. And also with regards international riders finding a partner, even the professionals scene is very different from the road scene, where there's more privateers. People often arrive with their own bouquet of sponsors, and it's really quite tricky to find a sponsor. So we want to keep it more accessible, more open for the people, and make it easier to enter and make it easier to experience what we have to offer.
Tell us about the categories open for riders to enter.
Well, there's several categories. In fact, there's 20. I think we counted it. We just make absolutely sure of that. Yeah. But it's a category in every age group, which is another reason that it's solo, is that it's very difficult to match up with your age group when you're having to find a partner. So there's categories in every age group, and you'll be wearing a leader's jersey if you're the leader of that category. So it's a really appealing thing for many riders to have, where they come to a race and have a real chance of wearing a beautiful leader's jersey and actually compete on a level playing field.
Okay. When will entries open, and what is the cost? Do you have any idea?
So entries will be open around about, we've talked about early December, end of November. And the trick with that is that if you want all the details and all of the scoop, best thing you can do is sign up for the newsletter. As soon as we announce that, you'll be the first to know. So if you want to be the first to know what the costs are when registration actually opens, we'll be staggering it to a point, then sign up for the newsletter.
And how big will the field be? Will you cap the field, or? Can't answer, not sure.
We can answer that.
Okay.
The field will be capped. We're really conscious of the fact that we don't want to have too much of an impact on the terrain and territory. And also, we're going to be creating bespoke burn camps, which are made from scratch. Right at the moment, there is nothing. And we've created one burn camp, which is almost a prototype of what we're going to be doing throughout race week.
Okay.
They are spectacularly beautiful. They are surrounded by beautiful mountains. And of course, space is limited, and the capacity will be limited as well.
So there's no premier accommodation options. It's tenting, camping.
You'll be in a burn camp. We're calling it a burn camp. Yeah. There'll be canvas tents. There'll be single occupancy. You have a stretcher cot. You have your mattress, and it'll be very comfortable. In fact, so that's really the aspect we wanted to create. And most important of all, the burn camps are designed to have a kind of a community aspect, so that we will be finishing our days of endeavor and then having our Karun nights of immersing ourselves into the culture and the tastes and the aromas.
So the longest stage, I think I heard 170. Does that sound about right?
That's you got your information correct. 170. That's the Queen stage, and we haven't released all of the stage details quite yet. But get on your bike and get training for the 170 kilometer. That's stage 5, and not only that, there's a long pass at the very end of it, finishing at the top. So it's a summit finish, 170 kilometers. It's a big day out for sure.
The Karoo can get pretty chilly in the morning and pretty warm in the day at that time of year. Are you going to have super early start times? What's the thinking there?
Well, the thinking began was when we actually have the date, because we were doing our route reconnaissance back in July, actually. And I remember we had a discussion about when we were going to have the race, and we were talking about September, October. And just when we were having the talk about having it a bit earlier in the season, we got into the car and we noticed there was an icicle on the windscreen wiper. So we thought that it would be a really good idea for many reasons to have the date on the 26th of October to the 1st of November in 2025. And it was a really important factor when it comes to the weather. It's less extreme. It's very much the sweet spot between not being too hot and also not having those freezing Karoo evenings. We did a road reconnaissance in September, and it was chilly in the evenings. I'm not sure exactly what temperature we got down to, but it was certainly single digits. But we're a month later, and the nights will be comfortable. It's still a Karoo. There's still a land of extremes. We have to be aware of that, and riders will too.
And can you confirm it's a drop bar only event?
It's a drop bar only event. It's a gravel bike only event, and there are many reasons for that. And it's partially due to the spirit of gravel is that we want to be all inclusive. But the thing about drop bar bikes, when everyone's on the same experience, is really important, because it's exactly that. Everyone's on the same experience. Bikes that are more or less have the same ability in terms of technical, in terms of the actual, in terms of the equipment, and it makes for a better experience for everyone.
Last techie question. You've ridden parts of the route. How rough is it? And what would your dream build be? Would you go 1x, 2x? And would you go front suspension?
We were very lucky to have access to our bikes that we received just before the trial burn, which was, that's our route recce. We received some Open Wides. Open is an independent brand, and they allow for a 45C tyre, which was actually key to enjoying it to the max, because the tires roll beautifully. We can run at quite a low pressure, and at the same time it insulates you from any of those unforeseen sections along the road where it might be a little rough. And so I think priority number one is wider tires. So anything above 40s, you're going to be good. And anything narrower, you would have to pick your day when you run that narrow tire, and you'd have to also know the course. And that's really the first thing, it's all about the tires.
1x, 2x doesn't really matter too much unless you're racing snake.
So it's an interesting question, because we had a few of us who were on 2x, some of us were on 1x, and with a 1x, the gear increments are obviously slightly wider apart. And then you'd have to pick your end place. You have to pick whether you're running a 44 or you're running a 50. From the hills that we were covering, and for a mid-packer, a 50, 40, 50 at the back and a 40 at the front was more than enough to get over the steep hills. We haven't ridden all of the course, so I'll pause on that and give you the scoop when we've done the full force.
Neil Gardner, thanks so much. And just lastly, it's original crew from the Cape Epic. It's Kevin Vermaak who owns this event, and you're going to be working on gravel burn from a branding and directing point of view. But from us, congratulations, Epic. The gravel burn event looks certainly like it's going to be a fantastic race, and a success from year one, because you guys all have, it's not your first rodeo.
Well, that's exactly it. It's not the first rodeo for Kevin, certainly, in the team that he's assembling. There are some selected few, and we're also looking for some new people and new up-and-coming talents in the industry. And eventing it's a very exciting space to be in. I love it. I love the subject matter. I love cycling, and I'm super passionate about gravel racing and gravel riding. And it's a crack team for sure. And we'll definitely be growing our team, and with some young talent, as I said.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.